Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. My name is Jacob, and today we're going to be reviewing the Star Wars Sideshow 6th scale Star Wars The Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. This is one of my favorite figures in the collection. If you haven't already, check out, I did a review on the Sideshow Yoda that went up the other day. Be sure to check that figure out. It is such a great addition to this collection. And I said it then and I'll say it again. I think this is the best line of Star Wars figures on the market just because I grew up with the Clone Wars. This is my childhood, and having animated figures as a kid and having this now is just, it's unreal. So sit back, get some popcorn, and let's get right into it. Again, just like the Yoda, this figure has a absolutely wonderful box with a Geonosian art style in the background with a Clone Wars Obi-Wan on the front. And if I spin it around back, we have a really nice product photo of the figure itself on the back. Once again, just inside the box, we have this nice Starscape artwork. Then the entirety of the plastic is held together by one of these matchbox kind of containers. Now, just like the rest of this series, this figure comes with a decent amount of accessories for you to customize this figure to any way that you want. First off, Obi-Wan comes with his iconic lightsaber, which is expertly painted and sculpted into this 6th scale. You can see that the paint is done expertly. There's no overlap between any of the colors, and it just looks great. And the blade is a nice iridescent blue color with a mighty fine point at the end, just like it is in the Clone Wars. He also comes with just a hilt with a CoverTech wheel, so you can hook his lightsaber on his belt if that's how you want to pose him on your shelf. Obi-Wan also comes with this hologram of Commander Cody himself in this transparent blue plastic on this very nicely sculpted and painted comlink. Moving on to the hands, Obi-Wan comes with a set of grabbing hands, which can be removed just like this. A set of fists, a set of calm and relaxed hands so you can keep his hands at his side. This set of hands also works perfectly if you want to keep his comlink in his hand. He also comes with a nice set of hands for using the Force. And last but not least, he comes with these action pose hands, which isn't the Force, or it is the Force, but it is really helpful in making him do this. And just like that, you have Obi-Wan's iconic ignition stance, which is probably my favorite way to display this figure. Now, Obi-Wan also comes with this very nice soft goods robe that is very easy to get on and off, but I like Anakin's robe a little bit more. This one is made out of a fairly light material. It's not wired or anything like that. It just kind of drapes, which looks really cool, but it doesn't have the heft that Anakin's does. The one that Anakin has feels like it's lined with two pieces of fabric, where this is just one. And it's also a lighter color, but it's still fantastic. I like it a lot. And now let's get into the sculpting of this figure. Obviously, starting with the head, it looks absolutely fantastic. The likeness to the animated series is just, it's so good. It's so good. It looks fantastic, and I absolutely love how this figure looks. Obi-Wan also comes with one of these crotch stands that most Sideshow figures come with. The sculpting on all of the clone armor is also fantastic. It has that really nice thin taper to it, like the animated series has, which really sets this figure apart from the rest. Now, one thing that really made the internet hate this figure was its tunic and how it doesn't exactly look like how it does in the promo shots. Now, I could say in hand, they look fairly similar. It just looks like the one on the figure is a tad bit more wrinkly, but it's not that big of a deal, at least to me. One nice thing about the tunic is that these shoulders are wired, so that way you can kind of have them sit and flow on your figure exactly how you want it to. It's also wired down here in the kind of skirt part of his tunic, so you can have these flying in the wind for a more action-packed aerial pose. The boots on this figure are also really well painted and sculpted to look exactly like Star Wars The Clone Wars. Now let's get into Obi-Wan's posability. Obi-Wan has a ball joint at the head, some butterfly joints beneath that tunic, which is really nice to get him in some really intricate poses. Arms could go out about this much, rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow, swivel in the wrist, and it also can flick up and down about that much. It's a little bit limited by the shoulder armor, but it's not that big of a deal when it comes to posing him overall. He also has a nice crunch at the waist and can move his legs out about this far in a spread. The spread is a little bit limited by his tunic, and the soft goods on his pants, but that's okay. You also have a nice bend at the knee. You have a little bit of a thigh swivel here. And his feet are on ball joints, so there's not a whole lot of posability there, but you can get in enough so you can like tilt the foot side to side just in case you wanted to pose him. And something a little bit more action-packed. And finally, here's Master Kenobi with his cloak on. The soft goods is rather light, so you kind of have to mess with it to get it exactly where you want, but I still think it looks absolutely fantastic with this figure overall. And when I'm posing him on my shelf, I have him with the cloak on. It's personally my favorite. But that about does it for this review of the Sideshow animated Obi-Wan. Please, if you haven't already, make sure if you haven't already, check out the animated Yoda review as well. It's already up on the channel. Another fantastic figure to this line, and stay tuned because very soon I'm coming out with the Anakin Skywalker review as well. So if you want to see that review, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, you're leaving a like, you're leaving a comment, you're keeping updated on our Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to find out when we're uploading next. And make sure you join our Discord. Link is in the description below. Tons of really awesome people in our Discord. Tons of awesome Star Wars conversations all of the time. I hope you guys enjoyed this awesome review of the Sideshow animated Obi-Wan. And I look forward to talking to you guys about my favorite of the bunch, Anakin Skywalker. Goodbye!